The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer, the sports talk, and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversation going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Tonight's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP at SeatGeek and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. We are part of that Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles and other podcasts. That's no credentials required. My guys over there recording probably actually doing a live show right now over there at Craft Brewed Sports. Always a good laugh. And so make sure you tune into them as well. And thank you very much for making this part of your day. Each and every day. This is my third one this week, so it's kind of a new record here. Finding time is actually my wife kind of urged me into doing this a little more because I'm actually enjoying the sports world compared to what my sports regular job is. But anyways, joined once again by a friend of the show. It's got to be it's a 50th time on the 1420 podcast. Aaron Riley from Brutally Honest Sports. How you doing, Aaron?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Yeah, I mean, I'll never catch up to how many episodes you've done. I don't think the rest of my life, but yeah, it's been going well. It's really nice out around here. I'm sure up there it's not actually frigid.
It's fantastic. It's been
yeah,
fantastic.
it's baseball season's kind of not mid swing, but we're kind of underway now. So and playoff hockey we'll get into as well. So yeah, I'm doing well, and a lot of things are going on that I tend to enjoy. So
I was. We were talking off air about how Tuesdays kind of suck, and that's another Tuesday was kind of weird. So me and the wife went over to a Brown Social House. It's a kind of place where you have a beverage now and then. They're a sponsor of the Leopards Bulls baseball team, so we get a little bit of a deal here now and then, a really good deal. But as we were leaving there, and I saw the strangest thing, and I had it my wife gives me shit all the time for staring. She calls it I have loud eyes. But there was this guy, and I was like, that guy's carrying a pigeon. He had a water bottle in one hand and a pigeon. He's going for a walk. He had a pigeon in one hand and a water bottle in the other. And I thought, well, that's something I haven't seen before. I wanted to say something, but I didn't know what to say. Like maybe the bird had a broken wing, couldn't fly around. Like maybe this guy's Samaritan of the Year. What would you have if you were a couple of beers deep or whatever? What would you have would you have approached this guy and said, like, what's going on with the bird? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like when I was when I was around 21, I would kind of 21, 22, I kind of talk to everybody about everything. I think now that I've gotten, a little bit older, I'm just like, by the end of it depends what time of the day it is for me. Like after 4 or 5, like I'll shoot the shit with I was at the gas station down the road. I was kind of shooting the shit with the person there. But when it comes to stuff like that, it really depends on, like, if I'm just worn out from the day, I'm like, what I pretend like I almost don't see it. Cause then it turns into, God forbid, it turns into a 45-minute conversation about the bird. And it's not that I don't care, but at some point I don't care.
Well, I don't care. I was just curious.
I just get fearful of like, oh, this could be an hour endeavor if I start talking to this guy. And then,
then all of a sudden you're bringing out your wallet and giving the guy $50 for Birds Unlimited or something. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, Jesus. It was just something I maybe I've seen it before a time or two, but to see a guy carrying a rotten old pigeon, because they're a filthy animal. Like they really are. I was like, all right, this guy's just carrying a bird around. Okay, dude.
Maybe he was missing a couple. I mean, I don't know the guy. But,
I don't think there was a couple screws loose. I think all the screws were loose with this cat. It was different. Aaron, on Sunday night, you kind of surprised me there. I was watching the NHL playoffs. It's been fantastic once again. It's been phenomenal hockey. The first round of playoffs is it's always so great, and the intensity is just high. And the first round wrapped up on Sunday night with the Winnipeg Jets facing off the St. Louis Blues. Jets got off to a really bad start. They were down 2-0 early. Hellebuck was not very good in net, but then obviously the Jets came back, won the game, tied it up with 1.6 seconds left. And I got a strange message from my American friend. I was like, well, this is odd. What's wrong with Aaron? But then Aaron, so you were watching the game, and you saw Winnipeg win in double overtime, and I was like, that's pretty cool that a guy who's not normally into hockey was watching the game. And what were your thoughts when it was happening and everything else? Because like I said, I was a little, not that you don't ever watch, but I was like, hey, it's a Sunday night. It was late for where you were. It's probably 11:30 when it was all said and done. I was like, holy cow, like this is kind of neat. We reeled one in from stateside.
Well, yeah, I mean, to you guys, hockey is like religion. I mean, that's at least what I'm told. So it's, yeah, I mean, I do love a playoff hockey. I don't follow it in the regular season as much. I say every year I'm going to, and then I just don't. But as corny as it might sound, I grew up playing the NHL video games a lot, and I kind of like the Winnipeg Jets were the team I always used for whatever reason. So I know that roster pretty well, like Euler's and well, now I sound like I don't know anybody, but obviously Hellebuck and I forget the guy that got cross-checked in double overtime. I like that kid a lot, but yeah, I mean, long story short, I have a little bit of a rooting interest in Winnipeg and kind of the Canadian teams I like to see. I mean, the Flyers are horrible, so you don't even see them in the playoffs, but those Canadian teams, I mean, it's a different beast. It's a different animal. The environments are, I mean, Edmonton's another one where it's like, man, when they're at home, it's electric. So yeah, I flipped it. I didn't get to see, like I was telling you, I didn't get to see all of it, but I mean, them being down 3-1 in third period and then to tie it up with 1.6 left, like that was just, I mean, I don't care if you're a hockey fan or not. If you're a sports fan, I think you made that comment. Like if you can't be a sports fan and not enjoy a moment like that. That was just, I mean, I would have been bummed out if it went the other way. Like, I don't care about St. Louis Blues at all. But the Jets, I do kind of like the Jets for whatever reason. It's one of those things. If they're in the playoffs, cool, go for them. So it's, like I said, I mean, playoff hockey. And then it's the survival of the fittest, too. I was listening to the NHL, the coverage on that game, and they're talking about, round of seven, and then the whole thing. So I have an appreciation for hockey, that's for sure. And every year I want to get more into it, but I'm trying.
It's tough.
No, yeah, it's just the timing of it.
It's a long season, right? Like you're a big college football guy, and then your NFL gets going at pretty much the same time, and it's tough to get into, and it's a very long season. But like you were saying, like that when they were down 3-1, I think it was with a 2.5 left, and they made it 3-2, and then it's like, okay, yeah, and then they tied up with 1.6 left. Like, holy cow, this is unbelievable. I'm not like my mother's a Jets fan. My sister's a big Jets fan, and I could see that, like Harris, I could see them jumping up and down. And actually, me and my wife, we high five each other, like, holy cow! Like I don't have a rooting interest for the Jets, but if it was the other way around, I probably would have been the same way. But like it's the NHL playoffs are such a beast because all the Jets did was get themselves 4 more games. They didn't win anything. Like they won a round and you get 4 more, and you got to win 4 more. Then you got to win 4 more to get a championship. And the grind that the NHL playoffs has compared to the other sports, baseball has it too, but it's not the same kind of emotion, and it's not as physical. And not that baseball's not physical because guys throw their arms because they're throwing 200 miles an hour. But it's pretty cool, and the way the fans, the emotion of it, like you were saying, like the American cities do it too, but. Man, oh man! I tell you what, like watching, they have those outdoor watch parties everywhere now, and they're always young kids that can't afford tickets to get inside. So it's just it's unbelievable how people get behind it and watch it, and the pure emotion of the fans and the way everybody was standing up in that Jets game, and even on Saturday night when Colorado ended up blowing against Dallas late in the third period too. Same thing. The people in Dallas, no one was sitting in their seats, and it's just the pure emotion of it. And it's just to get another 4 games. Like you don't get a banner for winning. You don't end up in the conference championship for winning 2 games like in football. You have to. It's a grind. And then like the Leafs, I'm a Leafs guy. They got the first win last night. So as of this very moment right now, they're closer than anybody else to winning the Stanley Cup. So that I can live on that a little bit. But but it's no the pure emotion of the NHL first round of the playoffs, and it kind of gets into a lull a little bit unless your team's involved, and then you get to the finals. But that first round, it is unbelievable drama year in year out. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, and I wanted to ask you, like, I mean, for whatever, like I told you, I kind of pull for the Canadian. I definitely like the Oilers, and there's like I don't necessarily have like a strong. I guess the Flyers, but like they suck so bad it's not even worth.
Yeah.
But like when you're watching, teams outside of the Leafs that play even if it was the Canadians, are you partial to them over the teams that are from the States? Because obviously you are Canadian, and like, is it there like that bias that you're like, I want to see the Jets knock off the Blues because of that,
A little bit, just because it's been 30 years, and I mean, it's such or 30 whatever years, 33 years. Geez, I'm getting old. But 93 was the Canadians won against the Kings, in 93. Patrick Wallace was in net, and he won the X amount of times in a row. But a little bit, like But I take a lot of solace that most of the Canadian players are still Canadian, so I'm not like, well, they're Canadian teams. But a Canadian-based team winning it, it adds to the excitement of it, because the pubs are fuller, the lounges are fuller, everything's like people are enjoying a lot more, because there's always, like you got Leafs fans, like where I live in Alberta, huge Oiler fan base. So like last year when they went to the finals, places were packed. Like it was just so fun. And every Stanley Cup final game last year, it went 7. It was a Super Bowl atmosphere. Like it was crazy every game, and it's already starting to build now. We went to Boston Pizza here, not too far from the place, last Saturday night when the Leafs were playing, and it was the same thing. It's just people with jerseys and having a great time, and it was Super Bowl Sunday for that game, and it's great. Like it, and I don't like if somebody wins or loses. Yeah, I'd rather see the Leafs win one before I die. Cause it's it's been. The last time they won was 1967, before I was born, and I'm old. But to see one of those teams win one, you kind of compare it to the like with the Leafs, you compare it to the Cubs, how there's generations of fans who've never seen it, and then with the Oilers, with McDavid being who McDavid is, like my wife's like she's a bigger Leafs fan than I am. She's actually cheering for the Leafs a lot, right, or the Oilers, a lot right now for the Oilers to win one, because of the effort and how McDavid just transforms the game, and how great he is. And like when things aren't looking so good for the Oilers, this cat, he just jumps out, and it's crazy to watch this guy on skates. It's how he just can take over a game and put everybody on his shoulders a little bit and say, we're winning this game. I don't know how we're going to do it, but just jump on my back. Here we go. And to have the fan base here in Alberta watching the Oilers get one, because they're playing later on tonight, time this recording, against the Golden Knights in Vegas there. It's interesting to see if they can do it, because everybody wants to finally see it. And then for a team that I grew up watching just up the road in Edmonton there, it's pretty neat. Like it's and you want to see them win. Would I rather a Canadian team win? Yeah, just because people would finally shut up. Like it doesn't mean nothing, because like I said earlier, like when Vegas won in 2018, I think it was. I think 95% of the players were Canadian. Like the highest rated team, right. Highest number of Canadians on their team were Canadian in the league. So like, well, okay, I get it. Like whatever, but it's awesome drama to watch, and just every game means so much. And like, I mean, got one of the TVs down here in the tavern. I got Carolina and Washington, and I kind of pulling for Ovechkin to maybe pull one off, and because he got the record this year, and see that old horse pull one off. And it's to watch him, it's crazy, because he's pushing 40, and he had a broken leg a few months back, and he still broke the scoring record, everything else. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hockey is such a different beast.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, that's another story. Like, it's almost, and I'm not going to say the Canadian teams, like, just them being Canadian isn't a storyline, but the NHL, like, doesn't have to be artificial energy going into the playoffs. I mean, look at the atmospheres, like you said, they make themselves. You got the Ovechkin thing that, I mean, everybody thinks he's going to, he was chasing the record for basically 2 years, maybe 3 years, on his radar, and now he got that. So he's probably going out after the season regardless. He got the record, like, so there's that storyline of like, hey, does he eclipse or does he, get the chance to win a championship as well? So like, yeah, I just think of all the sport, there's an argument to be made, I guess, for certain sports, but to me, it's like, you turn that meter from regular season to postseason in NHL, and it's like, I mean, you flip it a switch. Like, it's completely just night and day. And I'm not to take anything away from them in the regular season, but like it's 100 miles an hour in the playoffs. Like every play, every shift. I mean, you see guys coming in and out of the ice. I saw that, I forget that guy's name on the Jets, but he gets cross-checked. His nose is busted open, and he's like, as soon as he gets to the bench, he like wipes his nose, and then he's back out.
I'm good to go.
Like, you can't. I don't know. As I've gotten older, I've gotten away from the NBA playoffs is decent. I'll say that it's not horrible, but it doesn't hold a candle to the NHL. At least the NBA playoffs are like somewhat watchable compared to their awful regular season. But NHL, I mean, it's hard pressed to find a better postseason, in my opinion. It really is.
Like you mentioned it earlier, Aaron. There, like you watch these guys and how, I don't know where they get their energy from. I don't know who I'm not going to say it, but it's like, you just like, how are they just going and going and going, and how the intensity level just builds up after 82 regular season games. And then you just, and the level of intensity just builds up like a football game. It's a slower pace, and the Super Bowls, it's this show, but it's just this pace, right? Like they have their defensive strategies, but you can't plan for this guy skating a million miles an hour and this guy getting punched in the face and this guy doing this. And you say like a guy had probably a busted nose and a goalie broken over here and this guy broken over there, and they just keep going. And then I think it was on Monday morning, I was sitting there having a cup of coffee before I went to work, and you see all of the things I was watching the MLB Network, and they're saying this guy's on the IL for this, and this guy's on the IL for that. I'm like, holy Christ! Like, maybe baseball managers should maybe say, can you guys watch this NHL game and maybe just do this, because these guys are giving her like nonstop, and they get punched in the face and slashed across the back of the head, whatever it is, everything. And then you guys have a sore oblique and you're out for 3 weeks. Like, come on.
Well, I remember. I'm sure you know the name because you watch baseball. Like Matt Strom on the Phillies. He was packing his suitcase from spring training or whatever to I think they played in Washington to open the season. And I think he cut his fingernail into his finger, and they were like, yeah, he's not going to pitch probably the first 2 games. And I'm thinking, I get it's a 162 game season, but are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, these guys are in bubble wrap compared to, like you said, I mean, these NHL guys. I see, I pulled up their roster now. Niederreiter.
Niederreiter. Yeah.
Yeah. He got, I mean, this guy on the Blues just, I mean, destroyed his face. Like, he just, to me, I thought it was like a high stick or whatever, but they know better than I do. But maybe if they're like MLB umps, though, they probably don't. But they, he goes to the bench, boom, he's right back in. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, I really, because I saw the Jets kind of getting hit around a lot, and I know that's hockey, but it felt like the Blues were out there just trying to kill them at one point. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I really hope they take it to them now, because they're down 3-1. They tie it up. The Blues are getting mad. Like, you can tell they're losing their composure. Like, it's just, and I don't get how it will always blow my mind, just like hitting the baseball. But these goalies that have a stick in one hand, a glove in the other, they have a mask that has like 8 million holes in it, and then they're trying to see a puck coming at 100 miles an hour. Like, it beats me. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. It's like I said, it's like hitting a baseball. I mean, it just physically,
really hard.
I don't know how it's possible.
It's really hard. It's really hard. And there's no, there was, like, you were talking about a guy getting hit last night at least. I think it was Matthew Nyes right in late in the, no, it was Nylander late in the third period. And this guy from Florida just ran him over. And I've seen it before 1,000 times, because I watch a lot of hockey. And me and the wife both went, holy Christ. And he just got up and kind of, maybe he was embarrassed and didn't want to say, okay, I'm good. And he got up and went. No, it's the intensity is fantastic. It's it'd be nice to see a Canadian team. What would be crazy for people in Canada, it would get bad ratings in the States. I think the McDavid effect might work, but if it was a Toronto Edmonton final, I can't imagine what it would be like around here. Like I can't, because there's Leafs fans right across the country, Oilers fans, McDavid, and everything. It would be absolute mayhem if those two. It would be comparable to like the World Series was last year with the Dodgers and the Yankees, but up 40-fold, because the intensity of hockey compared to baseball is just more intense. Because I've never instigated it and never been part of one, but I've witnessed a lot of fights during the Stanley Cup playoffs between people. It's probably the same thing with football, where people have a few too many in there. My team's better than your team, and blah blah blah. Then a fight breaks. I'm like, what the hell? Like you have nothing to do with it. Like I've always found that weird. You've probably seen that in football, like at your local watering hole or wherever. If the Eagles are playing the Browns or whoever on a Sunday in October, people are probably fighting.
Yeah, and I've told you this before. As much as I should say, as ruthless as Eagles fans can be in Philadelphia as a whole, people love to poke fun at the Eagles. It's just one of those, like, it's turned into like you either like the Eagles or you hate them, or especially around where I live for whatever reason. So there's a lot of Giants fans. There's a lot of just different fans. I mean, Cowboys fans are everywhere, but people love to. It's just funny because Yankees fans will do it too. Obviously, the 27 and whatnot, but. If I tell my friend all the time he's a Giants fan, Yankees fan, and I say, hey, when's the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl? And it's always that, well, we have 4 now. You only have 2. Like it's always how many do you have, and then that turns into just
like a loser mentality.
I get it. I probably do the same thing.
Hey, how many ex-wives you got? 4. Oh, way to go, hero. That's a loser mentality.
No, I know, but I got to be honest. I would do the same. Like, if the Eagles ever get to like 5, I would really start digging into people because I've heard it my whole life. That's the thing. Like, I'm used to it. I mean, and like I say all the time, I'm blessed to have seen 2 Super Bowls because they didn't win any for 51 years. I think that they won 52 or 53 Super Bowl 51, 52. But people love to get, and we've talked about this before too. How college football holds such a high intensity in the States where it doesn't in Canada. It's kind of the same thing, almost the same thing. And like if the Flyers were good, it would be pretty electric. When the Penguins are good, there's people out. But like this postseason run, I doubt I'll see a lot of NHL guys because it's like, I mean, you'll see your Tampa Bay Lightning fan or what, like these random fans of random teams, but when like a local team's good, or like I said, even Pittsburgh, because they have a big following, it's a lot bigger. So I going out, it's not as like you said, not every game is Game 7 because there's no like real local team in it, but it still makes for a fun atmosphere. And like I said, it's the thing about hockey. I can watch it and I can enjoy it for what it is. It's kind of like baseball, where football, it's like. Football is fun, but it's I don't know why. It just like by the third quarter, I'm like exhausted watching football. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's a lot of games are over. Like, all right, they're going to run down the clock and take a knee. All right, like, could you imagine?
They almost build it up, right? Like when we're going to make it close now, and all of a sudden it's they're punting to them, and why are they punting to them? They could have just killed the game right.
Can you imagine on Sunday night if there was a way, and I don't have the perfect analogy for this, but on Sunday night, up 3-1, it'd be like being up 21-7. Hey, if it was a football game. The Blues are up 21-7. They take a knee 3 times, run the clock out, it's over. Hockey, it's 3-1, 2 scores, right? Same thing. All of a sudden, St. Louis is going home. Like, what the hell just happened? Like that must have been like we talk about how great it would have been to been a Winnipeg fan, but there's like St. Louis won a Stanley Cup in 2019, and they've had it's a great franchise. That must have been like with 3 minutes left, ordering shots and drinks and good times, calling into work the next day. I'm not going. I'm partying tonight, whatever. And then, oh shit, it's 3-2. Okay, yeah, we still got this. Puck's bouncing around, 10 seconds, countdown's on.
Yeah, when you're under 30 seconds, to me, like when I see 30 seconds, I'm like, they got it. You know what I mean? Like after like under a minute, I'm like, there ain't no way they're gonna find it.
And then the way the puck was bouncing around, and there was a broken stick, guy fell down, that ended up back on over to the like, what the hell? So we were all. I don't know why people yell shoot. They know, like they're professionals. Like
it's just
you just do, right? And then it goes wide and they score and whatever. Like the people in St. Louis must have been like, this really sucks. Like this sucks a lot. And then I think in my heart of hearts, I was thinking, okay, Winnipeg, they have to win now, or otherwise, what was the point of all this? Right?
Yes.
You're
it's like the Oilers last year. The down
3-0, and then they lose. They're like, well, why did you just save me $100 bar tab every night? And just losing 4.
Have you seen the clips of? Did you see the clips of McDavid after that? Man, that guy. He's impossible to hate too. Like he really is. Like that guy plays with his hair on fire. Like he cares. You know, he's not there for a paycheck. That's for certain. But
he's getting a pretty good one. But yeah,
that too.
It's
yeah,
crazy. It's another. You know, and it's just get going. The second round's going now, and McDavid gets going tonight, so it should be interesting to watch. I'm glad you watched it. And then the Jets get going tomorrow night and everything else, so it should be a lot of fun. You got to get Aaron Riley a Jets jersey or something.
What's the biggest Canadian rivalry? Is it like Leafs, Jets, like Flames? Like that's a team.
Flames Oilers is big. They're interprovincial. Like they're only 3 hours up the rope from each other. And then probably just because of old time's sake, I would say the Canadians and the Leafs because they've been around forever and ever. But there's a definite, there's been a lot of punches thrown when it comes to Battle of Alberta in bars and things over the years. It's not pleasant. It's not
Vancouver.
Pleasant.
It's like who does anybody even is that like
my sister's family? They live out that way, so they kind of do. But they're like the redheaded stepchild. Nobody cares about them. Because they do okay for a little bit and then they suck and then
that's what I mean. There's so many like I almost blank.
It's on the West Coast, so nobody watches because it's at like games for you. They would start like it's to be 7 o'clock out there, which is 10 o'clock for you guys. Nobody cares. It's the Canucks. Nobody cares.
It's crazy. Like I lose track of how much. Like there's a team in Columbus. There's teams everywhere in hockey. It's just funny.
Yeah,
it's just different.
32 teams and 5 of them matter. Yeah, crazy. It's funny. Talked some baseball. I don't know if you saw my little. I didn't know how mad I got on. I think it was Friday night, Aaron. I don't know if you saw that little rant I went on about.
I did.
Yeah, I didn't know how mad I was about this situation about the analytics of baseball and how broadcasts are like holy cow. And it's not all broadcasts. Like you watch your Phillies play a little bit and you watch your Orioles play a little bit. The Orioles just battling a lot. Like they're not very good right now. But all the like I'm not looking for a pat in the back or a kick in the ass either way, but what was your like my little diatribe that I went on? Like I said, I didn't know I was that mad about it. I was clipping stuff next day for social media. It's like, holy shit, I seem a little passionate about that one. What's your thoughts on all that crap? Because you're a younger generation guy, but you're a baseball guy, so like, I don't group you into that. What's your thoughts on baseball broadcasts in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of touched on it really well. Like the local broadcasts, I honestly think like the Phillies broadcast is. I mean, John Kruk is like half the time the guy actually is drunk. I don't know what he's just saying random shit, and it's just who knows. You never know what he's gonna even talk about. So the whole launch angle thing, they don't even bring that up. The Orioles broadcast is really good as well. And just in my opinion, there's people that probably feel differently, but I think they paint the picture of the game really well. They just kind of let the game play out. Like you had mentioned the national broadcast, like the ESPN. And I heard Jim from Fan at the Van talk about how, who was it? Joe Morgan and John Miller back in the heyday of Sunday Night Baseball when it was something worth watching. And that was such a better presentation. Now, yeah, like you said, I mean, I agreed with you. I mean, I think this whole launch angle thing and we talked about it before. How many of those guys go up there and strike out, and there's nothing like it's almost like they don't care that they struck out. And especially looking, it's just swing the bat. But they also are trying to get that launch angle to hit that 3-run home run, and it's like just put the ball in play. Like I'm with you. I think it's stupid that everybody's trying to hit a home run. There's guys that aren't going to hit more than 10 home runs a year, and they're worried about launch angle. And these broadcasts, I don't know what the what the end goal is to talk about launch angle so much. It doesn't. Like you said, who cares? Like I just, and like what was really cracked me up was when you started getting revved up on the fact that his swing looks better than the angle he's swinging at this week looks better than it was last week, and
I still went 1 for 40 this week. Right on. All right. Yeah. He's attacking that curveball better this week, but he still grounds out 14 times, struck out 13. All right.
Yeah. I mean, that was what I was getting after I saw that. I should have messaged you then, but it popped in my head now is, why do you think they beat it to death? Like, what's the end goal? I don't know.
I think because I'm around this like amateur baseball a lot, and so I see it a lot. I think that a lot of parents get duped into technology, and they get told that if their kid does this, and they get told, and then kids, because I don't think you need to scout people that much. They go on false stats, right? They can, because they get put onto whatever website, and this guy swings this guy does this. So I think there's a lot of false stats that get put out there. This guy, his exit velocity on a ground ball is this, but it's still a ground ball. You're still out. Like I don't care. Like you hit it really hard to the shortstop, well, you're still out. And you hit it really deep, but you're still out. Like I think there's just a lot of false stats, and I think it's been brought up a lot in the last 5 to 10 years because of technology. And so now college scouts look at the because they don't have to travel to watch these kids play anymore. And like, I don't know, that game or that movie Trouble with the Curve with Justin Timberlake was in it. Good baseball movie. Clint Eastwood with Trouble with the Curve. And so like there's still that eye test and ear test, right? And I think that it's got lost a lot with technology, that these numbers mean something, because there's a if the approach is there, eventually you're going to have a good outcome. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not true. Like either you can or you can't. Like you can swing as hard as you want and contact it 3 times, doesn't go anywhere. Like or like in winning, and because kids play, and you probably know this better than I do, because kids play in so many non-consequential games and their stats matter more. So kids the few who do watch baseball on ESPN, they can relate to that. Because my launch angle is this, and my exit velocity is this, my this is this. You're like, okay, but and they play so many games that don't matter for so many different teams, that this is what they relate to. Kids. But kids aren't the ones who are watching. Like I got the Yankees, aren't watching this game at 9:35 at night, right? Like they're just not. They're watching they're watching YouTube videos of this guy who throws a million miles an hour but throws the ball forward 300 times. That's what I think it is. Like I could be completely wrong. It could be a jaded old baseball guy, but that's just my thought. That's why it kind of works out that way. And it's just like, winning matters, right? And so they winning matters, like, and that's why you watch sports. We're just talking about the NHL, how it matters so much, but how ESPN portrays the game, they're missing out. And it's not a surprise that baseball kind of went, well, ESPN, see you later, because it's just not entertaining to the person who people actually have dollars in their pockets and sponsors and things and stuff. Because a 15-year-old kid, what's he contributing to society other than being a snot-nosed punk? And now he's not buying the products and the sponsors. But you know what I'm getting at? Like I just, there's something. Yeah, I think it comes from technology and how parents see this stuff, and they think that little Billy is going to enter the major leagues, so he swings the bat harder than anybody else. Doesn't hit it very often, but I think it's a technology thing. Like, I really believe that. Yeah.
I mean, that when you say it like that, it does make sense, because now I think it's become more. I mean, we talked about it before. Like it's a individual, team sport, because you're going one-on-one against a pitcher, vice versa. You're going, one-on-one versus a hitter. I think you have a good point there. Is, all these people are trying to hone in on, how do I pop off in high school? How do I pop off the scouting report to these scouts or to this MLB team? And if your launch angle is like ridiculous or whatnot, maybe, okay, well, the Minnesota Twins see that this guy has a crazy launch angle. He's hitting 180, but if we can kind of get his swing on track, if he does get under it, he's going to hit a lot of home runs. So, I mean, yeah, maybe it's more analytical driven than ever, which I'm sure you can probably attest to that because, you've seen the game kind of change over the couple of years. And I don't know. I get your point too. I mean, I guess outside of us, like baseball nerds, if you will, it's how many people want to turn on?
I use dork, not nerd. I use dork.
Get it right. Yeah.
I don't know why, but whatever.
It's like, you turn on baseball is, we talk about it, it's a slower paced game. You and I both enjoy it. There's a lot of people that love it. But for the average person with, that wants to watch UFC, they're not going to watch baseball. So it's like, I guess they have to make something interesting out of quote unquote nothing. I should, not that baseball is nothing,
but
get you get where I'm coming from. So I guess, but even then, like who wants to be bored? Who wants to be just completely lulled to sleep on launch angle and analytics this and like I don't think that makes it any more interesting to anybody. I mean, maybe I'm missing the boat, but
I said the other day, and I when I was yelling at my screen, which was weird, but Friday night, I'm a loser, my nerd, dork, whatever. But when I said
passionate.
Passionate. That's the proper terminology. When I said, like, if all of this launch angle and all of this exit velocity and front side, back side, right side, left side, whatever, if it's making things better and these guys are better, supposed to be better than ever, why is there more strikeouts than ever? Yeah, guys are throwing harder, but if they're striking out more than ever, how is this better? Like if you don't have a launch angle or an exit velocity if you're striking out all the time. And that is just simple shit. Like if you're striking out, you don't have a launch angle. You don't have an exit velocity. So all of this dribble this isn't a male female thing, but Jessica Mendoza, I think she's very good. She's on ESPN, but she has got caught up so much. Whether they're telling her to do this, she gets caught up in this launch angle crap more than anybody on television. And it's like, what are we talking about here? This guy is 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts and a pop-up. And you're talking about this crap? This is why nobody watches. Like or listens or puts on the 1420 podcast while they're watching the game. No, like it's I just have a really hard time with it all when they just beat you down. And I'm glad you brought up Crocky there because I watch the Yankee games all the time. Like when I listen to Cone and Michael Kay, and Kay sits there like a fanboy between Cone and O'Neill, and they're talking about funny stories and things, and they're having a good time. And
I do like the Yankees broadcast too. Michael Kay is one of my favorites.
They're great, and he laughs about it, and that's what baseball is. You sit around with your buddies, and you don't really pay attention till you hear that, and you watch something going on, right? I just think that it's got to get back to that somehow, but I don't know if it's possible with how the way the game is played now. Like it's different. It's just and usually different equates to better, but this isn't better. Like the broadcast, like I don't know. I just find it really, really strange that people that the talking heads, like the talking heads above the talking heads, think that, hey, you know what you should do? You should talk about something that nobody cares about. Like I'd like to know where it comes from, because like the Jessica Mendozas of the world and the ESPN, like whoever's on those broadcasts, they get told by somebody to say something and come up with a script or whatever it is. I just find it odd that somebody smarter, that's supposed to be smarter than you and I, says that this is a good idea. I just find it really strange.
I mean, yeah, it does make you question, and what you said, in the beginning of that really stood out to me is why, if everything's so analytically driven and these guys have all this access. I mean, you go to the, you'll see them pan to the dugout. Now it's almost like the NFL. They're watching like an iPad at the previous at bat, and they got the hitting coach in there, and yet these guys are striking out more. I mean, what stood out to me is kind of, I remember the Yankees, dynasty with Jeter and A-Rod and all that, and it feels like ever since around that time when like Jeter retired, Big Papi, That's kind of, when the Orioles were competing for the AL East, all just that time period. Seems like ever since then, if you look at the lineups back there, even for Baltimore, even for the Yankees, Phillies, Mets, I mean, I guarantee if you stack those lineups against the current lineups in baseball, the averages were much higher. And I was thinking to myself, like, has the pitching got that exponentially better in the last 10 years that these guys are hitting 220, 230? I mean,
so.
You go down the lineup. I mean, there used to be lineups out there. I remember, like, the Yankees had, their lowest average was like 260, lowest. Like there'd be, Nick Swisher hitting 263 or whatever. And everybody else is like 280, 290, high 270s. You got guys. I remember McCutchen hitting like 360 on the Pirates. I mean, you're not the only guy that can do that now is that Luis Arias or whatever.
Yeah.
He was in the Padres. Yeah. That's like the only guy that consistently hits well above 300. There hardly any guys even hit 300. So
Judge is hitting 440.
Judge is a good example.
But that is going to last. Because I was actually, like, when I was sitting here on Sunday afternoon, it was nice to not have to do anything this weekend. But the Yankees have Judge hitting 4 whatever, which is crazy. Goldschmidt hitting 318, 319.
Yeah, he's killing it too. Yeah.
And then you have a couple of guys hitting 240, and then you have Jazz Chisholm Jr., old Chisholm head, hitting 180. He's out now, and he's your starting second baseman. He's hitting 180.
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys below that Mendoza line. Yeah.
Hey, look how much of a dork you are. Yeah, the Mendoza line. I like that. But like you wouldn't get out of the Carolina League or the New York Penn League with numbers like that. And now it's just it's so simple. Like, to me, baseball's not hard. 5-year-olds play it. If you hit the ball and get on base, you have a way better chance of scoring a run. I don't know how much more simple we can make that. If you don't get on base, you will never score a run. Like never. And I mean forever. How it's at this point now, we're like, well, batting average doesn't matter. No, it really, really does. It really matters. And you if you score more runs, Aaron, if you score more runs than the other team, I guarantee you will win those games. Like, it's actually that simple. Baseball's really easy. And how it's gotten away from that, I would bet you that there are launch angles and exit velocities like you wouldn't believe. Stat metrics for the Colorado Rockies and their 6 fucking wins. I'll bet you they have numbers that would blow your mind on a stat page. But 6 wins.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I'm looking back here. This is last season. To finish the season, and I know we're not a stats show. That's like now kind of talking out of both sides of our mouth, but you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys hit over 300. I mean, Bobby Witt had a crazy season, over 330, and then a couple guys, 2 guys, Judge and Guerrero over 320. Yeah. Other than that, it was like 5 guys over 300, below 320. I mean, back in the day, I'm not saying everybody hit 300, but it was a lot more prevalent. Like I think, like you said, there's like Chisholm hitting 180. That's not even like that's not uncommon anymore. Like you'll go down lineups.
You're okay
guys, like
but his front side, he's close.
Well, and it's another
thing.
If
your front side close back in 1986, you didn't get a chance. You were playing for the Lethbridge Black Diamonds in the Pioneer League, maybe to fill the roster because they need to make sure the Dominican kid has someone to play. Like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's what you said. Like, I hate change. Like when you said change is usually better. I'm not to say it isn't always, like it's not always worse.
I hate change.
But yeah, I'm very much like don't change anything. It's fine the way it is. But that's not great. That's not the right way to look at it. But I think this change you've seen in baseball is not good though. I mean they did all this stuff. The pitch clock. They did the bigger bases. They did. What else? Now they got the the whole talk was the torpedo bats. Well, still people still aren't.
That kind of went away.
Yeah,
that was a big talk opening weekend. Now it just went away. Oh,
yeah, and how many people are? Maybe Judge has. Maybe people should just take hitting lessons from Judge, because it's like
see ball, hit ball. Hit ball. That used to be the thing.
And I even watched this clip on him with the hitting coach, that bald guy he has as a hitting coach, and he took his, like, not that his swing was complex before, but he even made, and not everybody's 6'8", I get it, and not everybody can generate the torque that he can. Just like no people can't generate the torque that like Tiger Woods can hit a golf ball. I get it, but like he took his swing from like a more aggressive swing, and it just basically simplified it. And ever since that, I think it was like 2021 or something, he changed it, and he's been exponentially better. And it's, I don't know though. Like you said, all this launch, like all this, the talk about launch angle, the talk about exit velocity, none of these guys are as consistent, like getting a hit as they were back in 10, 15 years ago. I just see a complete difference in, like, batting averages are way down to me. And if they're not, I don't think that's accurate. You're seeing a lot more 160. You're seeing a lot more 220. It's prevalent throughout the year. Like I said, I mean, back in the day, you go down the Yankees lineup, who was hitting below 250? You couldn't find anybody. I mean, even Posada would hit 280, and he's a catcher. What catcher hits 280 now?
And you know what they did? They won. Weird.
They scored runs. Yeah.
Yeah, weird. I was before I became get involved in my role with Lethbridge Bulls. I used to umpire in WCBL. I still get the odd game in here and there. It's kind of a conflict of interest, so I don't. But the Bulls right fielder goes back in 2021, I think, or 22. I can't remember what it was. But Carlin Dick, good kid. I like Carlin. I talk to him all the time. He's going to be assistant coach for the Bulls this summer. Bench coach or whatever, water boy. I don't know, whatever. And no, he's a good guy. He listens, so that's why I'm making fun of him. But he was having a rough season. Like his bat, and I was umpiring first base, and between innings, he was the last batter out in about the 6th inning, and I walked out there, and he popped one up for the 14th time in a row or whatever. He's hitting about $192, and things weren't going so good. And I said, Jesus, man, what's going on? What's happening, Carlin? He goes, no, it's about the process. I said, no, it's not, man. It's really not.
At what point do you throw the process away? That's
the process isn't working. You better process fucking cheese or whatever. Yeah, it ain't about the process, because this process is pretty bad. Yeah, so he goes, yeah, I get it. And then a couple years, 3 years later, we start saying, he laughed, goes, yeah, you're right. It wasn't about the process. I was having a bad season. So yeah. So if some kid comes up this summer from wherever land and starts hitting 185 and tells him about the process, he's getting deported back to the United States. See you later. I'll do the reverse Trump. Yeah, get out of here. See you. You're done. I have that power. But yeah, you talk about the tradition of baseball, and like it's just you just wonder, like you just wonder how nobody gets it. It's let's get into today's baseball. What's going on? What's going on with your Orioles? Whenever anybody answers a question with an exasperated sigh, it ain't good. It's not like, whoa, I tell you what.
Oh man, it's gone. I mean, I thought this was, I'm not gonna say I didn't think they'd be like this. I thought 500 type of team was possible. Only because, I mean, and I'm not going to make excuses. Every team has injuries, but they have been stung by the injury bug a lot. I mean, Grayson Rodriguez has been out. One of their best pitchers, Kyle Bradish, has been out. They're probably their best pitcher. I thought this ownership group would do different things. They talked a big game.
Yeah, we talked about this time last year, actually, Aaron. I just like, okay, what are they doing? What are they doing?
And
I'm from afar, right? Like, it's like, what are they doing?
Right. They blew a lot of smoke. Not to say they can't. I'm not going to say the story's written on them, but it's off to a very rough start. It's off to Okay, they go out and sign Charlie Morton. The guy's 41 years old. He throws like 90 if maybe once or twice a game. The guy sucks. I mean, he's horrible. He shouldn't even be in the MLB in my opinion. He has an ERA of like 8.
They went like Morton about 4 years ago. I was like, man, this guy, he's still doing it. And he was a good acquisition, went to Braves, and he'd been here and been there. I was like, you know what? That's not a bad pick. But eventually, Father Time and Mother Nature just catch up on you. And this is the year they caught up on him, right?
Not everybody's Tom Brady. Like, as much as I hate him, not everybody's Tom Brady. Not everybody's
Nolan Ryan, right?
Nolan Ryan. Not even Verlander. There's certain guys that like their peak is like, let's say an 88 out of 100 skill level. And then as they get old, now they're an 86, now they're an 84. Now like it just keeps dwindling down. And that's his ceiling was, I mean, he was a good pitcher. He was never like, holy shit, this guy is lighting the world on fire type of guy.
The thing with Morton I liked about him was he was an innings eater, right?
He is.
And he wouldn't lose you a game back then when he was with Tampa. He wouldn't lose you a game, and he would give you 6.
Yeah, he was solid. Yeah. I'm not going to say
3 runs, good.
Right. He's a solid starting pitcher in base. Like, you'd take him in a rotation. You're not going to put him number 1, but if he's at the back end of your rotation, like that's a pretty good rotation in his prime. But the Orioles did a lot of what they did under, the Angelos' ownership, and they went bargain shopping. They okay, let's go get Charlie Morton. That'll plug a hole. That didn't. I mean, that you might as well put me in there. I mean, the guy's an 8 ERA. It's like, what the hell is the point? And then on top of that, they just. I thought it's funny that when they traded Kyle Stowers to the Marlins, I was like, that was the right decision. That guy, he never really figured it out. I mean, he had a walk-off grand slam the other day. He's hitting like close to 300. I'm like, man, this Kyle. I mean, maybe that was a bad trade. I don't know, but I really praised the Mike Elias, the GM, for a while. I'm starting to question his decision making to a certain degree. I think I will always blame ownership though over even the GM in that, because his hands are tied to a big degree, I still think. I mean, Adley Rutschman's sitting there. He's going to go to arbitration. He's not going to be an Oriole for life if they don't, open the checkbook. Gunnar Henderson's, for my money, people will say, Bobby Witt's a lot better than him. I really don't think that. I think
not
Gunnar,
a lot.
I think Gunnar has more power than Bobby does. He might not hit for the same average, but I love Gunnar. He's such a good player in my opinion, and even outside of
name.
Yeah, that's Gunnar, and that's a killer name.
When your name's Gunnar Henderson, you're guaranteed to make about $3 million more than you should
have. yeah, you're not wrong. It's I don't know. I just think they talked a big game, and they've yet to really do anything. I know they've made improvements at the ball. They improved the sound system at the ballpark, this and that. But if you're not actively trying to win, are you going to turn into the Pittsburgh Pirates? And once again, I feel bad for the diehards of Baltimore that were, they think they were promised something else, and now they're sitting here like, do something. You know what I mean? Like, and then if they don't compete this year, I'll be curious to see what they do with the manager. I don't love the manager. I don't hate him, but I just they didn't make a conscious effort. Like you always say, when it's hot, make an effort. Like when the team's close, that's when you go all in. I thought they made playoff appearances the last 2 years. Before that, it was a while before you could say that they did that, and they didn't put the foot on the gas. They just thought, okay, we'll be good enough. And maybe that's their owner's message, is like, okay, we're trying to host a couple playoff games a year and keep the stadium nice and have concerts there and whatnot. But I don't think winning is at their forefront. And I really thought things would be different with new regime, but it almost seems like it's like an attitude now. It's just, okay, this is what we are. Cool. Like, we exist. I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, and winning's tough. I mean, I say it 1,000 times a show, no matter what we're doing. Winning's tough, and your windows open and close pretty quick. And then you get some guys who are good, and you get some guys we talked about before with the Orioles. There, you get some guys who battle a little bit through minor leagues. Now guys don't battle through minor leagues very long. They maybe play a year of A ball, a little bit of Double A, then they're in the big leagues, right? Because to try to save money or whatever it might be. But when you get a group that's talented and is good and borderline great, you got to take advantage of it. You have to, because before you know it, an injury here, an injury there, you're done. Like you lose a couple of pitchers, you lose a pitcher and you're starting shortstop, you're done for a year. You don't recuperate that, and then so that's a fan base that's gone for another year. You need another year, and the Orioles didn't take advantage of what they had. It could be over this time next year. Start selling off parts.
Could be over this year. I mean, this could be the start of the end. Like, I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. Like, at least you can say, like, that's the thing that it's tough. Like, I don't like how the Phillies have gone. I mean, spend $1 million, spend $1 billion basically with their payroll, but at least they're making that effort. Like, I can look at the flip side of that as like, well, their owner wants to win. Like he's at least putting his eggs in the basket, where the Orioles aren't, the Brewers aren't, right? The Marlins aren't, the Pirates. You can go on. More than half the league isn't, and the Yankees are. The Dodgers are. There's teams out there that are, yes, they're bigger market, but they're making an effort. When you see the Orioles sign Charlie Morton, it's like, okay, like that's not moving. If anything, it moved the needle back, because you're signing a guy when you just hope that he's an innings eater and he doesn't have a 5 ERA. That's what your hope is. I don't know. The ownership group, to me, that's irritating, because you can only do so much, especially in baseball, when you're competing with, like I said, the likes of the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Phillies, the teams, the Mets now. I mean, look at how the Mets have turned around with just different ownership. I mean, that's all it took, really, spending money in different ownership. Not to say they're going to win it all, but they're in the mix. They're
the
relevant.
Mets are not winning. They're not winning.
Yeah, I hope not. But.
They're not. They won't. Like that's a 14-20 guaranteed. The Mets are not winning World Series. They're the Mets. They're the Mets. They'll Met it somehow. Like they're
probably,
the Mets.
Yeah.
They're just
like
you look at like that Rockies team. Like I was making a joke earlier on. They're probably the best launch angle in baseball. 6 wins, 6-28.
The White Sox of this season. Yeah.
6. The White Sox have 10 wins.
Oh God.
Because I don't know, and I'm sure you don't either, but I wonder what ticket prices are. Like I wonder what ticket prices are.
Got to be under $10, like to get in. Like, I'm not saying a great seat, but
I want to win for a great seat. Like if I was a citizen of Denver, Colorado, had $1 million in the bank, money to burn, whatever. Or actually, you know what? Even if I was making good money, $200,000 a year. Let's say $200,000 a year. Disposable income to burn. I wouldn't pay for the best seats in the house behind home plate for a 6-20, and I'm a baseball dork, nerd, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't pay $40 to sit right behind home plate to watch that, knowing the team's they're 6-28. So what's that? 34 times that by 5. They're on pace to win 30 games, 29.825, whatever it might be. 29 games they might win. Tickets should be $5.
Why don't organizations and owners in general do that, right? Like, you would fill that. Like, if everybody spends, let's say, $8 on average, which is probably low. That's like a one beer. That's not even one beer anymore. Yeah.
No,
so like,
Jesus.
if you're like, hey, $5, and especially on nights like you flip on like, you flip on the Rockies, you flip on the Marlins on a Wednesday night. It's like,
no one there.
I mean, you can do a helicopter and you're not going to hit anybody. It's just like, it is a joke. So why wouldn't you be like, okay, $5 Wednesdays? Every ticket's like, well, I don't know. Maybe you could the seats that are like padded, you know what I'm talking about, behind like those, the club seats, I guess they call, those are 25 or something. But like, I guarantee at least more people would show up. Like, and then you got people, oh, I'm going to buy a hat because I'm here. I'm going to buy a hot dog. Even if everybody spends $5 in addition to their ticket, you're making more money than leaving this whole. I mean, 3/4 of the stadium is empty, and how many cities across the country every single weeknight, at least weeknights, and then you got even weekends. I mean, Pittsburgh will start thinning out as the season goes on when they're 15 games behind.
They're already thin like my hairline, man. Like it's thin there. Like it's not good.
It's good. Just like you said, why not just cheap tickets? Okay, we'll get people in the building at least. Is that better than not having people in the building?
The only guarantee. Here's some baseball management knowledge for you. The only guarantee you have, and I get it, is ticket sales, because you don't know how many people are going to buy hot dogs. And if you give tickets away, the people who get tickets off radio stations, and I shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to, they don't spend any money when they're in the park. They don't, because they get free tickets. So you still have to charge for tickets. So what you're saying is, for a $5 ticket, there's nothing wrong with that. But on the flip side, when you start offering $5 tickets, they will wait till they're $5 tickets. So they won't come when it's a $10, $12, $15, $20 ticket, right?
All those people will, it'll drop.
They'll wait and like, okay, well, so yeah. And the only guaranteed income you have is ticket sales. Because you can't guarantee that Billy Bob is going to buy a hat. You can't guarantee that his wife Mabel May is going to buy a hot dog, but she'll probably buy 9 because she's big, fat, and ugly. But whatever. But it's just, I shouldn't have said that. I'm probably going to get fired tomorrow for saying that. But no one's listening, so it doesn't matter. But you know what I'm getting at. Like so the only guarantee you have is ticket sales. So and that's the only revenue you can guarantee. You can say, okay, we sold this many tickets. That's for this much money. I'm with you. Just don't let them in for free, because all you guys are a bunch of people who come in for free.
And I'm not by any means.
I get it. I totally get it. That the Lethbridge Bulls, the Miami Marlins, or the whoever should get more people in the building, because you know what? If you impress them once, they might come back, right? And so not giveaway, but if they're cheap tickets, and because nobody's going to Miami Marlins game on a Tuesday, no one's going to watch the 6 and 28 Colorado Rockies on a Tuesday night when it's got a little chill in the air. Nobody. So give them a reason to come. So if there's a discounted ticket, absolutely, and give people a reason to sit in those seats that they wouldn't normally get to sit in, because you know what, they might save up or might have a group outing later on where they might do it. Like there's a science to it, obviously, but if you're getting 8 people, it ain't paying the grounds crew, and that's where the Rockies are at. They're on pace to win 30 games. 30.
I think they'll. I'm not saying they're going to make the. No, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they'll. I mean, I got to see how maybe the White Sox finish with last season. I'd be.
Colorado Rockies are out of the playoffs right now for next year.
That's
not
true.
Just this one.
That's that. Yeah. The White Sox won 41 games last season.
The Rockies might win 30.
I think they end up with more wins than that White Sox team. They checked. I think the Whites. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I don't know. But the White Sox, if you at all see any of their bloopers from it seemed like they didn't even care. Do the Rockies not care? I know the Rockies suck. I'm not going to say they have any good players, or maybe they have Chris Bryant and he's not even that good. But it's that White Sox team was tuned out, man. They forgot they were on a baseball field. I'm not going to say they're going to finish with 50 wins. Even I would bet that they win more games than the White Sox did last season. But even still, like you said, I mean, and I'm not petitioning to let's do $5 tickets all season, but at least you can see, obviously they have statistics of okay, Wednesday night's the worst, or Tuesday night or Thursday night or whatever it is. And we have to do something to, at least on that night, there's got even if you gave away one free beer, why not do that? Okay, one free beer on the house if you come to the game. Tickets are regularly priced. Beer is free, first beer is free, and it's the shittiest beer we have. It's Miller Lite, whatever. You know what I mean?
We do Thirsty Thursdays like from I think when the gates open at 5:30 till first pitch, it's $5 a beer for a certain kind of beer or whatever it is, and then happy hour, whatever, yeah, and it works.
It works.
We're still getting pretty good chunk of change out of that beer. But yeah.
What do you I think these MLB teams are like, because I'll see the promotions on TV and stuff, and I think the minor league, the major league teams are almost like it's either the owners are too greedy or they're too prideful to like roll out something quite to that, bargain shopping mindset, right? Because like you'll see minor leagues, like you said, your minor league.
It's crazy.
Like major league teams are like, we're good on that. Like we'll charge $12 a beer and there'll be 50 people here instead, and we'll just. That sucks, but that's
it's absolutely crazy. Like you like I'm on Twitter or X or Twitter. I get notifications for minor league baseball promos. So we use them a little bit with the different ideas we got going for the Bulls this season, and it's like just get people in the building somehow, some way, like whatever it's going to be, and make it fun. Because and we talked, I think the last time you were on, like it's even like I'm a woodback call it's like the Cape Cod League, not that high level, but it's really, really good baseball. The average person can't tell the difference between a good baseball game and a bad baseball game. It's just a better baseball game than what their kid is playing. Lights and this and fireworks and whatever, right? So
yep.
But you got to find a way to keep them entertained and keep them to come. But for six, like when you're a major league team, because I think there's a team in Colorado Springs. I think the Sky Sox are down there. I can't remember who their farm team is anymore. I don't think they're with the Rockies anymore. But the people of Colorado are going to find other places to go watch games because you're not going to go for. I wouldn't like to spend that kind of money on a game when they're going to get less tourists. I don't know. It's just, it's to be that bad with no hope. That's tough. Like, how do you promote that before the season starts? Yeah, this one might be a rough year. I just, there ain't a press wizard to fix that one. It's odd to me. It's really odd.
And there'll be people that just go to a baseball game to do it. Hey, I'm just going to go to it's a Thursday. I'm going to go to a baseball game.
And that's fine.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a good thing. I think, that they can get that once in a while, they'll get the stragglers, but we talk about it all the time. Like people love a winner, and like people love even if they're a competitive, like a gritty team, or they're a 500 team, but they're, there's guys diving into the stands to try and, keep this team like right in the playoff, hunt, that type of, but when you're that irrelevant, you're going to find reasons not to go. You're going to, I don't want to sit out for 3 hours to watch that, or baseball is boring anyway, but I'm definitely not going to go because the team sucks. I'm like, now you're piling on issues. Like you're piling on reasons not to go for the person that's not all the way tuned into baseball anyway. So then you have that, then you have the prices, parking, like it just, there's so many costs. And yeah, when the product's bad and on top of that, it's like, putting a domino in effect, because now boom, now there's 10 reasons not to go. And then you're not going to try and run a promotion to get people in the that's what I mean. Like you look at the White Sox games last year. I mean the A's.
There was one game. I remember this. Funny you brought that up. There was one game. It was a rain out the night before, so it would have been a tough sell for a Thursday afternoon game for a doubleheader. Anyways, but when your team has 12 wins in July, I think it was, there wasn't 14 people in that building on a Thursday afternoon because it was a twilight doubleheader. There was honestly, Aaron, there wasn't. It was like watching an American Legion game. There was the odd girlfriend, a parent, and that was about it. Like nobody.
It was the players' families and stuff. Like
yeah.
That's all you got. Yeah.
Apparently, all of the players were orphans because there wasn't a lot of parents there either. Like it was awful. Like holy cow! And that's got to be a kick in the pills a little bit for guys who are legitimate big leaguers saying, "I signed here for this. I'm a Major League Baseball player, and there's 12 people here."
Think about your former, what was he, left Benintendi, right? Left fielder. He took the money to go to the White Sox. How'd that pan out?
Oops.
Like that. And that's the thing too. Like they gave him.
I thought he was a really good player. Not really. I thought he was a good player. Not really. He's a good player.
Right, solid. Yeah, good with like talent around him. Now you put him on a crap team, he's gonna like.
Yeah, he's not the centerpiece of your organization.
Right.
But
he's a nice add-on.
This guy, that guy, yeah good.
But then I think it was. I don't even think it was the money per se. With the Yankees offering him less, he wanted more years. Like I think he wanted to be somewhere longer. I doubt you want to be playing in the South Side of Chicago, winning 40 games a year longer. I as much as you know me, I'm not a Yankee guy, but I mean Yankees is like baseball prestige, and then you go to the South Side of Chicago. I mean maybe in the early 2000s with Mark Burley and Ozzie Guillen and that squad, that would have been a different story, but. You take more years, maybe more money to play there. And the fact that the White Sox even dished it out. Well, they dish it out for him, but then they forget about the entire rest of the team, and they have nobody going. Like stuff like that. It's like how do all these decisions? It's got to be ownership, but it's like where there are guys sitting around a table like, hey man, maybe we should not spend all this money on one guy. Who are people going to? I'm going to go see Benintendi tonight. I'm going to go I'm going out. I'm traveling 2 hours to watch this guy.
Benintendi jersey sales are going to be higher than ever. We're going to sell more Benintendi jerseys this year than we've ever sold before. Yeah, probably because we haven't sold one ever before.
Yeah, you sold 10 this year. Yeah,
yeah, way to go. The damage you do to your franchise, right? Because now you're next year that minor league prospect. Oh, then this guy blows out his arms. He's throwing ball 4 million miles an hour. Like the damage you're doing to your franchise by not being relevant. Free agents aren't coming for 2, 3, 4, 5 years because they want to be players who are really good want to be relevant. They're not signing in Colorado when they got 6 wins. They're not signing for the White Sox when they got 10. When they're talking about moving and not like the damage in Florida, the Marlins, and these like you're just not.
Well, and it's hard to sell those markets like maybe I'd see Miami to me would be like, wow, man, that would be cool. Like you're playing in Miami, you got the beach, you got, I mean, every reason to have fun down there. But it's like, you think about like city. I mean, look how long Cleveland's been relevant for a while, and like nobody. Yeah. I doubt any free agents like, yeah, sign me up. Let me go to Cleveland. That's my first. Like, no, who cares? Cleveland's a crap hole. You know what I mean? But that's a franchise that at least is run the right way because you see guys going there. You see that the team's relevant year after year. I mean, they've been relevant for probably 10 years now, ever since that World Series they lost. So it's like that's the thing with like Colorado. How are you going to convince guys to sign in Colorado when they don't have winning culture? And then it's not the Dodgers, Yankees, or Red Sox, Cubs. Like it's not one of those marquee markets anyway. So now you're even at you just dig your hole deeper when you don't even try. And then it's like Pittsburgh could be and I'm not going to say a marquee place to go, but it could be a place where like free agents are like, oh, I'll go there. Like maybe it's not my first or second, Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, Astros, something like that. But it's not like the last place I'd go. Like okay, I'll consider. There's guys that I guarantee they see, the Pirates they don't even answer the phone. They're like, fuck that.
It's funny you talk that way. Like I was a guy. He played in National Hockey League for a long time, and he's on Overdrive in Toronto. They're on TSN radio, and I knew him a lifetime ago. Jamie McLennan Noodles there, and he said they were talking about the Florida Panthers. So it's funny how same city, Miami, right? And he was talking, man, playing hockey because he played playing because I know him a little bit, like I said years ago. He said playing hockey in Florida, perfect. No one knew who I was. I was making tons of money. Long hair, bought a Cadillac, blah, 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 right? It was perfect. No one knew who I was because if I played in Toronto or if I played in Edmonton or whoever was major center, and I wouldn't be able to go out for dinner because everybody's bugging me. Playing in Florida, no one knows me. Football and baseball, different. It's just funny. Like hockey players kind of want to be a little bit like, I'm good. Just give me some money and I'm good. Whereas the other guys like, I'm not going here unless people know me, right? It's odd. Yeah.
Well, And I would think you can make a better judgment on it. Like these NHL franchise. I mean, outside of what? I mean, I don't even think the Arizona Coyotes. They're like Utah or something now, right?
Yeah.
But like in baseball, right? You have these franchise. Like everybody wants to play for the Dodgers. Everybody wants to play for the Yankees. Like in hockey, I mean, I'm sure there's Chicago? They're not that good anymore. But like the Blackhawks, like there's probably franchises guys want to go to, but it's not as like the have and the have-nots are not like so like
Canadian kids, honestly,
out.
like Canadian NHL players, they want to go to the LAs because LA weather's nice and they're great every year. Florida, weather's nice, great every year.
Vegas, I guess.
Vegas, they want to go now. It's like, yeah, let's go to Vegas. Like it's great. It's awesome. They don't much want to go to Toronto because and Montreal because the media is pretty heavy. But if you win, you're a legend. Like you're a legend. Like their name is schools after you if you win something there. Like it's that, right? So, but yeah, like you don't want to go to Minnesota. You don't want to go to Columbus. You don't want to go to frickin' some other ones.
Probably
Buffalo.
Philly at this. I mean, Philadelphia.
Right. Philadelphia's
won since like the Broad Street Bullies days. Like
it's been a while since they've been relevant.
But that's a passionate city. Like at least you have that can go both ways because you saw that kid they drafted a couple of years ago. He like wanted out immediately. He played a couple games or something. Then
my sister-in-law, her relative. So I guess he's kind of my relative. I guess he's the goalie coach for the Flyers. So I got kind of a tie there. But yeah, it's a struggle right now. It's a struggle. Yeah.
I just baseball. It's like the Marlins are never gonna they're never gonna land when Corbin. Well, you know what's funny though that like Corbin Burns, right? He leaves.
He's hurt.
Leaves the Orioles. I knew. I mean, chances were he wasn't going to re-sign there because the Dodgers, the Yankees, everybody, the big hitters were involved, and then he goes to the Diamondbacks. So I mean, it can be done. Like we've seen, like the Diamondbacks have made a push lately. The Padres have made a push, but I really think it's so have to do with the ownership. Like the ownership of those teams is like, okay, we want to go get this guy. We're going to go get him. Outside of those couple teams, though, you see a lot of we're going to stay put. We're going to stand pat and not get any better. And how would like that Pittsburgh Pirates owner is walking around the stadium and it's opening weekend and people are yelling at him in the face to sell the team. How does that not like you might care about money more than you care about breathing, but it's like, how does that not hit you? Like, you know what? I should probably at least try. Like it might fail, but I should at least try. Like, yeah.
Because if you that's the thing, if you put out perception that you're trying, people believe it. Because people's attention span is big, right? So if you go, we put an effort to get this guy. We went out to get this guy. And people don't like the Jays. It kind of worked in reverse with them because they tried for the two biggest fish in baseball history. Full well knowing they weren't going to get him. We talked about last time you were on with Ohtani and Soto. They put out the facade that they were going to try to do something, but they knew they weren't going to get those two guys. So it kind of like then it backfired with the Jays because the Jays went, or Jays fans went, okay, you didn't get those two guys. Where's that $700 million that you were going to spend? Why do you spend it for something else here? Because what are you doing? So it kind of backfired on them, but
at least they signed some. I mean, they got Santander, who's solid. Like he's he hits home run. Jeff Hoffman.
The Jays' problem is they're just not very good.
They're starting. They never have enough starting pitching. It seems like
pitching, and then Bichette, they put all their eggs in one basket, and he cut his hair. So he's got one home run so far this year. And Vladdy, they gave him the banana boat, and look what he's doing. And there it is. I mean, and they kind of got a handcuff with Vladdy by having to give him the bank because they offered two guys never played there $700 million each. So what are you gonna do? They're not that good.
See, at least, but I if you're a Jays fan, I think you can kind of say my team's at least making an attempt. Like they're not just gonna stand there with sitting on their hands. Like the Orioles have sat on their hands. the Marlins sit on their hands. Even the Brewers, even a team like the Brewers that make the playoffs all the time. They don't. Who do they go and make an effort to get? It doesn't have to be Juan Soto. Go get the next guy. Go get Paul Goldschmidt. The guy's hitting 348. It's like not saying he would on the Brewers, but like these owners don't want to.
You know who I'm big on right now? I'm big on the Padres.
I think you said this last year, didn't you?
I'm big on the Padres right now. Like, they're flying. I'm big on the Padres. Like, they're scary, and they lost the Yankees tonight because the Yankees.
I'll tell you, the Padres are in my personal. They're the Ravens. They'll be good all year, and then the playoffs come.
Mid-September, just like fuck, whatever.
We shot our load already, and then they. I mean, that's a team though. They've turned the corner on, like, we're going to spend money now. We're going to put they put a good product on the field. They were trash for decades. I mean, I don't believe it. I'd bet every last penny they're not going to do anything. Just like the Mets. They're the Mets to me. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, the Bulls.
Till they prove me otherwise.
The Bulls. We had a City Connect, Community Connect jersey contest. Kids put in stuff. That's actually a lot of good ones. Kids cut like literally with Crayola crayons, like send stuff in, and it was awesome. And then the one that won, I kind of pushed it a little bit. Like, I really like this one. Like, I like this one. And then so then this one ended up winning because it was actually really good. We did a vote in the community and stuff, and then people did stuff in Lethbridge here, and it was, and then Deanne, the wife, she goes, hey, you notice that City Connect jersey, that one for the Bulls, it kind of looks like the Padres jerseys you really like. I was like, oh yeah, it really does. Yeah, it really does. They're actually, I'll send you it later on. Like, they're pretty slick. I was like, yeah, those are nice. So
it's a multicolored deal.
Yeah, it's totally different than the colors that we have, but it looks like a San Diego Padres jersey. It's like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, Windy City. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny. It's just like, oh yeah, that's why they won. Yeah.
Have you seen the White Sox City Connects?
Awful.
I don't know. I don't like. Are they hanging on to the '90s with because the Bulls were actually good, and then like they were a good franchise?
Oh, just embarrassing. It's just like how they're that bad. Every decision they make wrong.
You got to think they're almost I'm not gonna say
trying to empty the place so they can move.
I mean,
because there was rumblings. I read something. I don't know the truth to it, but there was rumblings about going to Nashville. It's just
that's the Orioles were rumored for that too. Before, I mean, now they did the stadium. They with the Maryland State, they did the stadium contract renewal for like 30 years, but that was the talk for a long time that they were going to move. I mean, I gotta think one of these teams is they're going to take a page out of the. I mean, when the A's finally do, if they ever do get to Vegas, maybe they'll just stay in Sacramento forever. That would be even probably worse. But from an optic standpoint,
I watch A's games. I don't want to say nightly, but I watch probably 3 a week. It's embarrassing. Like, it's like you're in a minor league park and there's trees in the outfield and people. It's just it's probably so bright, a great minor league park.
It's so bright. I kind of like that. That's the only thing I can.
Like, it's probably a great minor league park, but Jesus Christ, like playing WCBL next year for Christ's sakes. Like, it's just weird. But anyways, Aaron, a fun show tonight once again. We always do pretty good.
Absolutely, yeah. I try. Maybe because I haven't done this in a while. I talked a lot, but you get me revved up on baseball. It's I don't know.
It's good.
It's fun.
Did you hear the latest? I don't know if Jim's going to hear this tomorrow because he's got a friend in the van. He's thinking about retiring. What do you think?
I mean, the pace that he's at right now, I don't see how he can. So like he's in his prime. Like, he's just one episode after another. I mean, it's like hard to keep up with. If anything, I should, because I don't even put out shit anymore. I've been trying the TikTok thing because like it's a minute here, a minute. I'll go in like 2 or 3 minute tirades, but to put a whole I'm not good at talking to the sky like you guys are. So it's.
He's got to.
I don't think Jim should retire though. Not at all.
Jim should not retire. Jim should not retire.
That would be a mistake. Maybe take a break. I know he's taking breaks.
That's why I told him today. I said, take the weekend off. You don't got to be up at 4 a.m. and do whatever. Do what you got to do. Just take a weekend off and just reevaluate a little bit. And maybe give him and Whitey go on a little trip together down to South Beach or something. Just take it easy. No, Jim, don't retire. We appreciate everything you do for the podcast world. So, no, Aaron, it was fun. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. Like it was good talking baseball and bitching about the same things over and over again. It's good.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I always try and get a hold of you and try and do one here and there as we can. But yeah, I appreciate it as always, and it's always fun. Do you think? Are the Padres right now your World Series team? Like I know it doesn't. Who cares? It's May, but is that like your?
You know what? Yeah, because I think eventually the Dodgers aren't going to.
That'd be nice to see. I think
deadly because the Giants are 23 and 11 or 23 and 12 or
something. And the Diamondbacks, like it's just like insane.
It is. No, because you know who's a really good baseball player? Manny Machado. And
I saw him for a lot of years. Yep.
And Tatis is really good. So they got a couple of studs there, and they can.
Bogart's still out there. Yeah.
And we got who the Yankees gave up for Soto last year. I don't want to say Clark Schmidt, but whatever his name is. Yeah, he's really good.
King. No, not King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Like the Yankees kind of just went. No, the San Diego Padres are going to be the second last team to win a World Series championship, other than the Seattle Mariners. Yeah, no, the Padres.
Brewers have not won
uniforms. Oh, the Brewers too. Yeah.
Who? Yeah. I guess that's it. There's probably somebody else. Maybe.
No, that
doesn't.
We don't fact check at the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. We're a lot more. Aaron,
so
thanks very much for joining us. Yeah, let's get together again maybe next week and do this again. What do I got next week? Oh, the World Series is next week. King of College World Series. I'll find time. Whatever. Let's do it.
Hit on some more hockey too, and
we'll talk some hockey. Oilers are down 2-1 right now.
Good amount of scoring already. There you go.
Anyway, here it is, the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP at SeatGeek.com and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Take care of each other. More important, take care of yourselves. Need you around. Keep your stick in the ice. And what else, Aaron?
Don't swing at the high pitches.
There you go. Just swing at the high pitches. Doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with. We'll talk to you guys all very soon. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you later on this week. Thanks for tuning in to the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 Beer and Sports, talking a whole lot more. Brought to you by SeatGeek. Go to bellyupsports.com for the best of sports articles and podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or wherever it is you get your podcast. Let's get in.